Okay, so now we're going to do commentary. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop an artillery strike. And we're going to talk about how I do this. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing, there are 2 tanks coming up the hill. It takes 4 seconds to drop the artillery strike. So I'm going to drop it on the first tank, but it's probably going to hit the second tank, assuming that it's going to take 4 seconds for the second tank to reach the position of the artillery strike. What I probably should have done was move the artillery strike a little bit further up the road, but I made a mistake and I probably didn't do any damage. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to watch to see if they come running up the corner and if I can just do damage to them, if we're going to do the fight here or if we're going to do the fight where they are. If they don't come around, I'm going to keep on pushing because I'm the one with the strong frontal armor. And I know that the road ahead of us doesn't have a lot of room. There's more room for them if they had come up here, but they didn't. So it's to my advantage to push forward. We're going to have less room on this little road over here. So now we're going to prioritize all the tanks based on how many hit points they have. And I'm doing this with the auto aim because I have to prioritize driving my tank and angling it. The T-44FL in front of me, you're going to notice that he's going to be aiming at my tracks to try and halt me, and he is going to track me once or twice. You'll notice that I am angling my tank. Look at how the gun is at an angle. It's something that I do intentionally so that when he fires at my lower plate, he's actually hitting it at an angle, which gives me better armor protection. Now, I always ram while I'm driving. You shoot and ram. Sometimes you can do damage with a ram or get a kill with a ram before your ammo reloads. So you'll do it not only before your ammo reloads, but you'll do it before his ammo reloads. The other thing you'll notice is that I swiftly turn to the left to block the T-44. So now I have both tanks blocked. Neither of them can move forward, which prevents them from driving up the road. And I'm going to do it more than once. So I'm pushing him, but I'm also paying attention to what the other tank is doing. I thought for a second there that the other tank might be trying to come around the side of me, so I had to turn my tank to deal with him. So if he tries to pass me, I'm going to rush forward and try and block him or use some other driving maneuver. And that's why I have to use the auto aim. I'm using the auto aim because I'm going to be very heavily focused on the driving aspect of the game. You'll notice that I'm using the rear of my tank to block the T-44 on the left from passing me from behind. I didn't have to back up as much as I did, but by doing that, it definitely stops him. He's not going to be able to push his way through. The guy in front of me, he accidentally hit the stone construction piece, so he's not able to move forward anymore. Now we notice that the one on the right has less hit points. And I'm continuing to use the hull of my tank to block the T-44 so he can't pass me. So he shot my track. I got 2 repair kits. It's not a big deal. And I repaired and noticed that I angled my tank once again to block him so he cannot get behind me. And I'm firing at the tank that's further away, which is easier for me to aim at, and he has less hit points. And I'm doing ramming damage to the other tank. Objective 4 under attack. And you can see I'm still going in for the ram. I rammed him maybe 5 or 6 times already. I have to reverse in order for my shot to hit the lower part of his hull, otherwise it's going to hit his turret, and it might not penetrate. And I'm going to go forward while I'm reloading. You want to go forward while you're reloading so he can't hit the lower plate. It protects that lower plate, and then I'm going to reverse when I'm ready to fire. That was obviously a ricochet. Now we're going to go for this tank. The other T-44 ran away. We're going to go for the shoot and ram. And I'm going to probably kill him on a ram. And that's the maneuver. Okay, so let's continue watching the game. This is the point where it keeps on crashing. So we've got some tanks over here. My ally just drove by. He didn't realize that that Primo Victoria was a target. So he missed some chances. got hit by the artillery. I think there's a good chance I'm going to get hit by another artillery. I'm really vulnerable right now. I could easily get taken out of the game by SPG. Luckily, one of the T-44s came back. Yeah. I believe the artillery did take me out of the game. At the time, I was actually surprised that the artillery took me out of the game. So I'm trying to decide what tank to take in next, and I'm looking at the Kananen Jagdpanzer. And the reason why is because it's got decent penetration, and it's fast and mobile, and it will allow me to move around the battlefield wherever I want to. So I'm thinking about a high penetrating gun, fast mobility, etc. I chose the AMX CDA 105. It's got a great gun on it. I like the mobility on it. I like the low profile of it. This is going to be a tough game because I'm going to be in the middle. There's going to be tanks all around me. Now, you notice what this Lorraine is doing. He's diving down after the SPG, and I want to go low and hit him also because it keeps me safe to be low. I could easily get hit from the rear. There's a lot of bad tanks out there. Yeah, you can see like there was that shot. Now there's also a rock over here. You want to take advantage of that rock for defense. And keep in mind, I am worried about being hit from the rear. By taking up this position, ideally what I should do is reverse a little bit to prevent all those tanks over here. The tanks over here, the prototype and the STRV can hit me, but these other two tanks like the Mauerbrecher can. So I'm not really in the best position. I should really reverse. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't penetrate that guy. I do use the APCR a little bit more often in this game than I do with regular World of Tanks. It's too bad that that missed. Now, obviously, the Scorpion on the left there is a high-profile target. Want to take him out of the game. He's not going to do a good enough job hiding. Will I get him? No. It's sad. That was a sad miss. I should have had that guy. If this guy's going to come up after me, I'm going to be more than happy to take him out of the game. I'm up to 6,700 damage, 3,700 block by armor, 2,600 spotting damage. Now for the Mauerbrecher, using the APCR is a good idea. Picking up this location, I'm hoping that I'm not going to be spotted, but obviously I will be. I was taken out of the game, but basically I was using my gun elevation instead of gun depression. Most people are overly focused with gun depression, and they forget that you can use gun elevation. What I was going to do is use gun elevation in order to get my gun into a better position. So it looks like I'm ready to queue up a T-92, which is a fast light tank. Oh, it looks like I took out the Progetto 46. This is a great tank because while you're looking to assault somebody, you're secretly reloading and going in. Once I get there, I'm going to have a lot of ammo loaded. You notice I'm trying to use that house to block the STRV from being able to shoot at me. Went a little bit too far. I think he's going to be dead by the time I get there. But I do want to help out my ally. I'm not going there to steal a kill. I'm doing there to get the job done. It looks like we're safe at number 3, but I think we're going to lose on objective 1. And the sad part is that Objective 1, most of the damage was taken out by a single tank who was just there by himself. And I've seen it happen a few times, and I've obviously done it a few times. But sadly, we lost this game. I ended up with, I believe it was 7,800 damage, 3,700 blocked by armor, 2,600 spotting damage.